Welcome everyone to the first and probably only episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Behind the Scenes. In today's video we'll be looking at 89 character sheets from the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's anime, thanks to Set8Dreams over on Twitter, which is someone that has made a lot of collages like this one for many different series. So I appreciate Set8Dreams for doing this. If you don't know what these pictures on screen are supposed to be, they're pretty much the guidelines of how a character looks and how an animator is supposed to draw them. That's the gist of it. Let's get started. In the first picture we can see the four main characters covered, and that's pretty much about it, as well as some text at the bottom of the frame giving information about the sheet itself. That includes a lot of information that I cannot even read, and some that I can kinda, like the date the sheet was made, and it goes as early as October of 2019, which was just 2 months before the announcement of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's, not even 2 months. And we start off with a picture regarding the MC of 7's, or Yuga, in which we have an illustration of his character design from 3 different angles, as well as give us information about what he wears, his t-shirt, his deck box, his footprint, and his right eye, which is pretty standard looking one for a male anime character. This is something that you're going to get a lot of times in this collage of images, so I'll go over it only for this sheet in particular. The picture right after the character design has the same character design, but this time around includes where shadows and lights are supposed to be. There's also usually a picture right after the shadow line work design sheet, and it is a colored version of that wash sheet, with the lights and shadows added as a different tone of a color. The very next collage of images gives us Yuga's head from slightly different angles, as well as different facial expressions, and that's all we got for Yuga. Next on the list is our second most important character of the series, Kamijo Tatsuhisa. Look, there isn't much to say about his character design, we're quite familiar with it. The red eyes, the blue hair, his pointy eyebrows, the chains that are strapped on the pants, the plain black t-shirt with red gear on the left part of it. There are also his 2 iconic wristbands, as well as the Kamijo family wristwatch, which ended up being quite the underwhelming review in the anime. 11 and 12 were some final revisions most likely, then we get the face expression for Luke, some of which catch his idiotic nature perfectly.
実は私はお前の父親ラップ嘘ラップ
The third character to appear in these sheets is none other than Roman. This is pretty similar to the episode order that centers around each of the main 4 characters at the very start of the show. Her eyes have eyelashes and have more of the shape of a circle, but that's not really anything surprising really. In her usual character design, Roman wears heels, which I really don't know if it's a good choice for regular shoes, but alright. She also has 2 bells for some reason. We get to see few standalone face expressions, which include 3 stoic ones, 1 surprised expression, and 1 of anger. We then get to see a few more character designs with different outfits for Roman, which is something that we don't usually see in anime. The next pair of character sheets are for Gakuto. There isn't much to say besides that it's the plainest character design out of the 4. I don't consider it as a negative, I just wanted to point this out. For some reason I find one of his facial expressions funny, coming from the awkwardness of it. Mimi is the first character design after the main 4, and her outfit resembles a little girl's one, the exact opposite of what Itachi Mimi is. Mimi is another character that has more than 1 outfit, and the second one is her robbery costume. The only thing that I can point out from looking at the 2 sets of dresses is that in the first one Mimi has a ribbon in the back, but in the second costume she has it on the front, as well as additional ribbon on the mask. We then get a single picture of her Goha hexagon outfit. Remember those guys? Cause I don't. Facial expressions this time around are more interesting, such as the rock face and the Pokchan face. Then we get Rose designs, which were pretty late in development. Well, they're really not, since Ro got a more prevalent role at the end of summer 2020, thanks to the 2 hiatuses that were 5 weeks long each. The next sheet is a single picture of younger Rose design, which was used in episode 12. Weirdly enough, there isn't one for Yuga in here. We also get a sheet for younger Geta, as well as his Elvis Presley outfit. Surprisingly enough, both of these sheets were made even before SEVENS started airing. Speaking of Geta, we get a few character sheets of his regular design, as well as a few pages dedicated for Mayo Shirola. The next character on the list is someone that got his character design almost 2 months before that of Gera's. Neo is one of the main 7 characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens, so it's not that surprising that he got few sheets in an earlier stage, way before he got introduced in the show. At the right side of the sheets, we can see Neo without glasses. The next picture shows us the design of his ring. Then we get quite a few sheets dedicated to background characters. I can hardly recognize any of them, but they're background characters for a reason. We then get a single picture of how P uniforms in Goha 7th Elementary are supposed to look like. And if I'm not wrong, we haven't seen the green uniform. Or if we have, it was probably for the boys. But in this case it's shown as a girl wearing it, or at least someone with long hair. If I'm recalling correctly, this outfit was shown when Yuga met Asana for the first time. We then see few sheets of the teacher, I think. We then see more sheets for background characters, mostly adults. I can hardly recognize any of them as well. And we finally get to the Goha employees design. They don't have eyes, just a reflection on their glasses, and also wear clothing suited for their role, making them blend with the background as much as possible. And we also get to see the regular Goha employee outfit, which just looks goofy. Sebastian is another character that was established pretty early in the skits, even before Geta and Ushiro. The sheets include design from the front and back. We also get to see a design for Sebastian 2 disc, and we also get to see Sebastian the chair. This is only 3 months before the beginning of the third arc. We get to see the design for the machines for Asana and her team. We finally get to the sheet about Goha 7 Elementary. We get to see the outside view of the school as well as the building itself, which I can hardly consider a school. It looks real small, like a real small building, for a school at least, that is. On the inside we get to see a design of a school hallway from 2 perspectives, as well as a classroom from 2 different perspectives. As for the few final sheets, we get the Rush Duo disc designs. Surprisingly enough, 2 of the design sheets were made pretty lately in development, considering that the discs are probably one of the most important designs in all of the anime. I guess this is all we have for today. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see any character designs for Asana and her team, only the machines themselves. No designs for characters that were introduced in Arc 2, excluding Neo and Sebastian, and no designs for Otis, as well as no monster designs. But even getting all of these pictures in the first place as a guy who has no access to Japanese stuff, or just Japan in general, is nice enough. Let's go into that with the video. Bye bye Plebstro was in here.